And we'll do it with... Oh, jeez, I don't have much tungsten. Christ. Wolframite. How much wolframite am I sitting on? I've only got 10 tons of wolframite, so I might want to strip this out whilst we're here. Oh. Oh, thank you very much for the donation, buddy. Much appreciated, thank you. And genuinely, welcome to the stream, bud. Honestly, it's nice to see some fresh faces here as well. Oh, thank you. Really appreciate it. So, we're going to try and build another one of these coolers. Hopefully it shouldn't be too much of a ball ache. This time, however, you know what, we'll just use iron, it'll be fine. This time I will try to not cock anything up early doors. Roman's still stuck. It'll be fine. He could hop up, I think. Oh shit, maybe I should dig out this as well. We'll dig this out with a higher priority, because Abe is currently very stuck. Abe, how's your bladder, son? 30%. Oh, you're going to get to work. Yeah, Abe, do some mopping, and then get building. We can actually get rid of all this now, I suppose. We'll probably get some people stuck, but yeah, it's fine. Should have enough iron around here to get things going. If we can make this a 7, we'll dig out you, and then people can hop over. Cool. We'll dig out you. Now then, do I want to do the same amount of Weezeworts in this? I probably do. So we'll give it a 3 high room for our Weezeworts. Something like that. Don't think I put metal underneath them now. And we will... We'll actually cancel that for a minute. Deconstruct these. Just so that I remember. We'll get the planters in now. That'll be you. I think I'll get rid of you. We'll just head down there. Ooh. We'll get some of this dug out as well. So I want some of the wolframite, and sand and stuff's always helpful, so why not? Beautiful. What are you going this time, X? What's your plan? Farm station. Oh, we've run out of fertilizer. Oh my goodness, we've still not got any fertilizer set up. Fertilizer synthesizers. Maybe that's another build I should plan. Because we do have polluted water backing up, don't we? Where's that polluted water at? Polluted water's going into here. We've got... There's many germs in here. 3.7 million germs. Nice! We've got many tons of polluted water sitting, chilling in here. You're going Hunter, Butcher, Tailor. So you're doing the same shit again? I thought you'd have mixed it up a bit more. Hamster Chan, good evening, welcome. Currently having issues with heating. I'm almost surrounded by slime. How do you deal with that? When you say heating, are you having issues with being too hot or too cold? As regards surrounded by slime, that's one I can answer. Best bet you can do early game, build some compactors underwater. So wherever you've got like, normally at the start you'll have some little pockets of liquid or, you know, something like this. You'll have a room like this near you somewhere probably. Build into it with a little water lock, So if you build something like, if you build something like this, okay, pump a little bit of liquid into these empty tiles in the middle, and then you can get into here. And I'd probably do something like, and then I'd just have a few of these. You know, something like this, and then you can put your compactors underwater, and then store your slime in there before you get to like chlorine and stuff like that. And then that'll give you a place to store your slime. So as soon as you mine it, you can store it underwater, and that stops any gas coming out of it. Okay, so if it's submerged underwater, it won't release any gas. That's a really easy way of handling slime in the beginning. It does mean that you can still get to your algae and stuff, you see, which is nice. Other than that, you can also cool the area, which takes a little bit longer. But if you got some, either, there's two ways of doing it. You can either slap down some ice sculptures, or you can pump in some cold water or something like that. And if you can basically reduce this area, like a slime biome, in small amounts to below 10 degrees, I think it's 10 degrees for slime lung. It might actually be more than that. Yeah, 10 degrees. If you can drop it below 10 degrees, the slime lung will start dying off. So what I've done in the past on previous streams, I've had like, I've not actually had much slime in this spawn, to be honest, in this world gen. But if I had an area like this, I would dig out an area, put a little bit of cooled water over here, and then let the temperature radiate out. And then once you start cooling off a chunk, you'll just dig down a layer, and then the cold temperature can radiate further and dig down and dig down. That's another way of doing it. You're basically killing off the slime long before you even mine it that way, which is nice. It's sort of up to you, buddy. There's a couple of ways of doing it, but wheezeworts are very handy for it as well. If you've got an area in slime, put down a couple of wheezeworts with some temp shift plates, and they will cool off the area as well. It's not quite as quick, but it does work. I'm lazy, and I like to try and do things quickly. So I normally just dig it out, put it in compactors, and worry about it later. And then as soon as you get something like this set up, which is basically a room that's filled with chlorine, it doesn't matter what you collect, it will go into your storage and there'll be no slime lung. And then late game, I mean, I've got some slime lung around the base in pockets here, but it's just not a concern because eventually I'll be oxygenating all this outside the base. At the moment, I've got a problem with oxygen up here myself. So eventually you should oxygenate your whole asteroid and then it won't be a problem at all. So far you've only gotten 2 wheezeworts. Yeah, you just need to get out there and explore. I was quite lucky in this. I've got a number of big ice biomes around me, so I think I've probably found like 15 wheezeworts or something so far. As you can see, I'm using like quite a few in little builds, and I've got them dotted around the base in places and stuff like that. But just don't worry about it too much. Just either deal in small digs or, you know. What metal should you use for temp plates to cool? It's much of a muchness, really, XP. The only difference you get from using different materials is the speed at which it will transfer the heat. So if it's not important how fast it works, just use something like igneous rock or something. It's not worth getting exosuits. I only use exosuits to avoid damp areas and extremely hot or extremely cold areas. So for example, down here, I've got a single exosuit for digging out my oil biome, because it's 90 odd degrees down here, or 70, 75 degrees down here at the minute, which is too hot. Scalding at the moment is really bad. If you get a dupe that starts scalding, there's a very good chance they'll get incapacitated if you're not quick. So for extremely hot or extremely cold or wet areas, I normally use exosuits, but other than that, no, I don't really use them. You don't need to. It also slows you down a lot early game, so. But yeah, that's about all I can really advise, to be honest, buddy. But yeah, welcome to the stream anyway, bud. Welcome to the stream. Any other questions you got, feel free. I'm always up for questions. Let's make this a 5. I want this done first. I'll dig out this and then I can concentrate on this as well. We've actually got low immunity at the minute, Ren. So Ren's immunity at the moment, let's have a look. 34%. He's losing 12% per cycle. So another thing that you can do, I don't know if this is even connected anymore. Oh, it is. You can make some vitamin chews. Okay, we make this like a priority 6. And if you go to your consumables, where are we? You can basically toggle on the dupe that you want to come and eat a vitamin chew. So it's Ren, isn't it? Let's toggle these ones off. So where's Ren? Oh, there he is. So we'll give him access to vitamin shoes, and then we'll make a few and give him a bit of an immunity boost that way as well. Watching your VODs and YouTube content in auto learn since I seem like such a scrub. No, don't worry about it, buddy. We all start somewhere. Do not worry about it at all. And I'm a scrub all the time. It's fine. It is no problem. Okay, how are we getting on? Oh, what did I do here? Did we have some... Did I dig the wrong tile? I've just been a scrub right now. I did something very stupid. Probably 4. Dig this stuff, please. How did I do this? Oh, Hamster-chan, thank you very much for the follow, buddy. My dupes are basically living in exosuits with a lowered barrel rate. Am I losing out on polluted water? You are indeed. When they first brought in exosuits, a lot of people started building bases just permanently keeping their dupes in exosuits. I don't like it. I just don't. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's just personal preference. Like my opinion on it is, if they were meant to always be in exosuits, they'd come printed in them. Do you know what I mean? So it's just me being a bit weird. I don't like the idea of them always living in an exosuit. I think that shit would chafe after a while. So just my personal preference. Nothing wrong with it at all. Yeah, we'll just dig some more of this out. I just want to tidy this up a little bit. And what I'll probably do in the midst of digging this out to build this, they'll be able to use this platform rather than getting stuck. I also need to get rid of this water, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. I might just dump it into here till later. Yeah, I'll probably do that now. Let's drop you down here. We might be able to sweep some of this, I don't know. Oh, actually, let's just do this. Let's keep them as 2 separate pools for now. I might be able to sweep some and then sweep the rest. Ah, bollocks. Bollocks! Just drop this down there. Actually, don't dig this. We'll dig out you first. So let's do 4. And let's get rid of all this shit. And get rid of you. Get rid of all this crap as well. And we'll dig out you. I say I just want some of the wolframite and ice and goodies from in here. I'm not going to do anything with it immediately, I'll just drop it all down. Likewise, you. We've got this biome down here as well, which I've not been into yet, where we can get a little more slime and gold and quite a lot of polluted water in here that I want to collect as well, so it's all stuff for the future. We might get a bit of hypothermia in here, but there's not much I can do about that. Once we've dug this, I will mop you, and we'll just drop this polluted ice down as well. Beautiful. Now, I do just need to take a moment to look at what's going on with our oxygen, because I noticed before the base was starting to get a bit dark blue. So what's happening here? Oh, I don't want to mess about with this. It's going to get all fucking hot. Let's get this oil cooler going. Stat. And then I can cool some oil and pump cold oil into there. That's probably the way to go. I wish there was a polluted water output from the docks. That's a really good idea. When they put the soup back, it has to unload all the pee and poo. I like that idea. That's nice. You should suggest that on the forums. I've never seen anybody say that before. You should definitely put that on the forums. That's a great idea. How do you deal with food? At the moment, I'm using mushrooms And I was growing some bristleberries up here, but I took that out a while ago. We are going to grow some bristleberries again soon, but not yet. I need to do some tinkering first. Can I see a heating overview of your base, since I've never gotten so far? Yeah, we're not really doing much about the heating. I've got no cooling in the base. I normally like to cool my oxygen, which regulates my base. At the minute, we've just got 3 Weezeworts dotted around, that's it. And they're not even in any particular sensible location. They're just dotted around. So the only things that are really kicking out a lot of heat at the minute are our lavatories, because they're pumping in hot water. So it's 91-degree water going into our toilets, which is not ideal, but meh, it's fine. It's alright. It's not red yet, so it's alright. I will sort out our oxygen system once I've got this oil cooler going. But until then, it's just going to have to be a bit balmy in the base. Which is fine. They will be okay. Oh, sorry, I need to mute the old forum tab. Mute. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's get some more of this wolframite stuff, because I'm going to need it. I might as well get it now. I'm also going to get rid of this little tile so they run over the mesh rather than coming through the ice biome. So, I need to cool some oil. I may need to pump some warmer oxygen into the base for a little bit, because again it is getting rather blue. I don't have access to any algae at the minute, which I could fix just by nipping into here. Or digging some of this out maybe. Do I care enough to get some algae right now? Not very much up there, but that'll give me a couple of tons. Or maybe a ton. Yeah, we'll just get all this, fuck it. Whatever. Then you can also show how to deal with slime. As I mentioned, the way that I'm dealing with it at the minute, I've still got slime in compactors. So these are full of slime. It's just submerged underwater. My slime gets delivered to my mushrooms use it. That's all I'm really doing. That's about it, really. I can't feel my fingers, it's so cold here. Ugh. I want this to be swept up. Can somebody sweep this seed, please? Before it grows. Not going to be able to get up there. Get rid of you. Should be able to reach all this, I think. I kind of want to get in here. Yeah, we'll go in here. Let's go for a nosy. Get rid of all you. I'm going to get this swept before I let this water out if I can. At least get some of the wolframite and stuff swept up anyway. I may need to dump some storages out. Give me a sec. Let's do this. Excuse me. So what I've just done, these were all generic storages without a sweep only command. I've just changed them all to be sweep only, so I can basically cherry pick what I want to be swept up. So we'll get all this swept ideally. There's a lot of polluted ice here as well, which isn't ideal. but we'll get all this crap swept. That should give them some stuff to do, which is fine. And I think I'm going to hop down here for a moment as well. Go and get some of this algae. What is that water lock you've made? How exactly do they work? And how do you make them? Dead easy. Oh shit, did I leave that build somewhere where I was showing you something before? Where did I do that? It's down here. Okay. So, imagine... So imagine this is your base, okay, this area here with some ladders. This is your lovely base, and this is the area that you want to airlock from, okay? So all you would basically do is... Oh shit, somebody's been down here and built stuff. Don't ever build this. Go away. All you would do basically is build a little structure like this, so it's like a V shape, okay? And then pump in your liquid. Dig all this out, obviously. Pump in your liquid, and you need two different liquids. Or well, you can do it with just one liquid, but it's easy with two. So if you've got access to polluted water and water, or crude oil and water, or whatever. I prefer to do them with crude oil and water. You can do them with crude oil and petroleum. You can do it with anything. But basically, you need two different liquids, and it doesn't need to be masses of each liquid, just a bit. I normally say use at least 50 kilos of water. And basically a tiny splodge of oil or whatever you've got, really, it doesn't really matter. And the idea is that the liquids don't merge. Only one liquid can ever occupy a tile at a time, okay? If you drop some pure water into oil, the pure water will float. Most things float on top of oil, in fact. So by having two different liquids, what you basically create is a wall of liquid. So there's two tiles of liquid, and then if you give it something to adhere to, like another tile, the surface tension makes a water lock, and then your dupes can hop along it, but no gas can get through. And you can see I've got them all over the place, really. It's so I can keep this a chlorine area, so I can stop my chlorine from escaping over here. This is technically a water lock. This is the same idea, just with a big old pool of water. Yeah, I use them anywhere where I don't want my gases to escape, or if I need to get into something like this. At the beginning of the stream, I had to build a water lock here to get into here, so that I didn't lose all my hydrogen that's in this room. Oh shit, I forgot to seal that back up. Yeah, they're really handy. The only thing is they do have a negative, and that is that your dupes will get soggy feet, so you get a